Johnson & Johnson has always publicly denied its talcum powder products cause cancer, much like many other companies accused of using asbestos in their products. However, documents unsealed in 2017 revealed Johnson & Johnson company executives were aware of asbestos liabilities as early as the 1970s. After decades of litigation and thousands of consumer complaints, the Johnson & Johnson baby powder lawsuit has finally reached a tipping point. The product is now out of production, and the company will pay $2.1 billion to individuals who claim the talc-based product caused their ovarian cancer. Let's explore this controversial topic further to establish the hard facts. Talc's safety is a contested issue. Talcum powder manufacturers and suppliers say the powdery mineral used in cosmetic products is highly refined and safe. For example, nearly 40 years of studies by researchers and medical experts around the world support the safety of talc, according to Johnson & Johnson. But a number of studies have linked the use of talcum powder to specific cancers, including ovarian cancer and mesothelioma. The International Agency for Research on Cancer says talc contaminated with asbestos is carcinogenic to humans. But the agency, which is a division of the World Health Organization, also specifies that asbestos-free talc is not classifiable as carcinogenicity in humans, according to the agency's June 2020. Although Johnson & Johnson will stop making and selling its talc-based baby powder around the world from next year, the announcement comes more than 2 years after the healthcare giant ended sales of the product in the US. J&J faces tens of thousands of lawsuits from women who allege its talcum powder contained asbestos and caused them to develop ovarian cancer. But the company reiterated its view that decades of independent research shows the product is safe to use. As part of a worldwide portfolio assessment, we have made the commercial decision to transition to all cornstarch-based baby powder portfolio. It said in a statement, the firm added that cornstarch-based baby powder is already sold in countries around the world. At the same time, J&J reiterated its position that its baby powder is safe to use. Our position on the safety of our cosmetic talc remains unchanged. Although company reports highlighted the need to suppress concerns over asbestos contamination at talc mines in Vermont and Italy, and despite some J&J staff considering a switch of baby powder's main ingredient from talc to cornstarch to avoid liability, the company never stopped selling talcum powder. Tests conducted in the latter half of the 20th century revealed asbestos in J&J's talc, which the company covered up, failing to report the contamination. Some of the talc was sourced from Windsor Materials talc mine in Vermont, where one official recommended adding citric acid to help hide the presence of chrysolite asbestos fibers. Now juries are holding Johnson & Johnson accountable for asbestos-related cancer its products caused. And now the disgrace of it all. An attorney for Johnson & Johnson faced probing questions over the corporation's use of a controversial bankruptcy maneuver that has frozen tens of thousands of lawsuits linked to Johnson's baby powder. During the hearing, members of a 3-judge panel of the United States Court of Appeals for the Third Circuit in Philadelphia asked whether J&J had used the legal strategy to gain a litigation advantage for 40,000 cancer patients who have sued the company. The cases were filed mostly by women. They claim Johnson's iconic talc baby powder was contaminated with asbestos, which caused their mesothelioma or ovarian cancers. Here's how the legal maneuver known as the Texas two-step worked in this case. In October of last year, J&J, which is headquartered in New Jersey, used a wrinkle in Texas state law to spin off a new subsidiary called LTL. The healthcare giant pushed all baby powder-related liabilities onto the new firm's books. Within a matter of days, LTL relocated from Texas to North Carolina and filed for bankruptcy, effectively halting the baby powder lawsuits. The U.S. appeals for the Third Circuit will eventually rule on whether LTL's bankruptcy was filed in good faith and whether it should shield J&J from baby powder-related lawsuits. Attorneys representing women with claims against J&J slammed the healthcare giant's legal strategy. Talc victims are mired in bankruptcy as they die, said attorney Jeffrey Lampkin. He noted that during the LTL bankruptcy process, Johnson & Johnson has paid out billions of dollars to shareholders and for stock buybacks, a practice not allowed for firms that are actually bankrupt. It's unclear how quickly the Third Circuit will rule, though judges tend to move quickly in bankruptcy-related cases. The US Department of Justice has also challenged J&J's bankruptcy maneuver. DOJ attorney argued that if this legal strategy is upheld by the courts, it would open the door to other non-bankrupt companies and wealthy individuals using similar maneuvers to avoid liability. If Johnson & Johnson can get away with this bankruptcy, what's to stop any other company in America from doing the same thing? Asked Sean Jonda, an attorney representing the US trustee, a division of DOJ that oversees bankruptcy cases. J&J's strategy has also sparked criticism from some members of Congress as well as public outrage. Speaking late last year, Hannah Wilt, who was sick with mesothelioma and one of the lawsuit cases that was frozen by Johnson & Johnson, voiced fury over the delay in her baby powder lawsuit against the company. "What I see is who can play the game the best," Wilt told NPR. "Big corporations trying to work the system in a way they don't have to take full responsibility is something that's not new." Hannah was a CrossFit instructor and an avid horseback rider. At 22, she felt the first symptoms of the aggressive form of cancer, mesothelioma. After years of unsuccessful treatment, she was terrified of the outcome. Tragically, Hannah Hilt died in February of this year at the age of 27. Furthermore, a California woman won a $417 million lawsuit from Johnson & Johnson after she filed claiming that the company's famous baby powder gave her ovarian cancer. Eva Echeverria, 63, who was diagnosed with ovarian cancer in 2007, alleged that Johnson & Johnson didn't warn consumers about the potential cancer risks of talcum powder, which she used every day since the 1950s. In the wake of Echeverria's verdict, Johnson & Johnson announced that it would seek to overturn the ruling. Echeveria's attorney, Mark Robinson, said, "Mrs. Echeverria is dying from this ovarian cancer, and she said to me all she wanted to do was to help the other women throughout this whole country who have ovarian cancer for using Johnson & Johnson for 20 or 30 years." The company responded in a statement according to the Times, saying, "We will appeal today's verdict because we are guided by the science, which supports the safety of Johnson's baby powder." Retailers throughout the US pulled J&J's talc-based baby powder from the shelves in October of 2019 after the US FDA found asbestos in one of the containers. The container was a part of a 33,000 bottle batch that the company voluntarily recalled on October 18th of 2019. The discovery occurred during a review of 43 cosmetic samples in which the FDA found 9 of them contaminated with asbestos. Asbestos is regulated at federal, state, and local levels of government. Talc is not regulated by any government agency. The cosmetics industry has been left to regulate its own use of talc, which has resulted in asbestos contaminating consumer products. The FDA is conducting more tests of cosmetic products and is expected to release the results in 2022, but has not released any new updates. Most importantly, is talcum powder safe for babies? The American Academy of Pediatrics has voiced concerns about baby powder for decades. The organization recommends against the use of talcum powders on babies because it can cause severe lung damage and breathing problems if inhaled. In 2019, Johnson & Johnson recalled 33,000 bottles of Johnson's baby powder after the US FDA found asbestos in samples it tested. In May of 2020, the company announced that it would stop selling talc-based baby powder in the United States and Canada. Warning labels. Major manufacturers of talcum powder do not have warning labels on their products. The US government has not acted to remove the powders or add warning labels. The FDA hasn't found enough evidence to recommend ovarian cancer warning labels on baby powder. Johnson & Johnson's talc supplier added warning labels in 2006. J&J has yet to add similar warnings to its other products. Johnson's baby powder labels do caution against talcum powder inhalation, though. They also say that the powder is for external use only. In 2017, evidence released in Eva's Echeveria's ovarian cancer trial showed other baby powder manufacturers added ovarian cancer warnings. Brands with warnings include Angel of Mine, baby powder from Dollar Tree, and Spring Fresh powder sold at Walmart. Due to the fact that it's believed talcum powder can cause ovarian cancer, there are also concerns about the potential risks it could expose to men who use talc. While there's no evidence yet that baby powder can cause cancer when used for male hygiene, it is recommended that you use an alternative instead, such as cornstarch. Cornstarch does not have the same cancer risks like talcum powder, and it's important to choose a safer alternative when it comes to your own health. Finally, in August of 2022, J&J announced that it would stop selling talc-based baby powder globally in 2023. Outrageously, the company insists its decision was made for financial reasons and has nothing to do with the product's safety.